Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Fatback 4 Daily. I don't know what day it is, don't ask me. It might be Tuesday. This is Gav, and with me tonight I will have Grizz and Keith, and we're going to do a little transfer window special. This is how it's going to work. Grizz and Keith are going to have a discussion, and they're going to try shape Liverpool's squad just in the next transfer window and the next transfer window alone. This show is brought to you by Paddy Power, a bookies, a website and an app. If you gamble, please gamble responsibly, and remember to do so with Paddy Power. Let's get on with it. And here we go. So there's been loads of chat over the last week or so, mainly because of Timo Werner and different players been going around, names being bandied around everywhere, and people are wondering, well, will COVID-19 affect this? What will happen? There's all sorts going on. So I just had a little idea today. I said, I'll get Keith and I'll get Grizz, and what I'll do is they'll have to take everything into consideration. So they'll have to take the likes of the coronavirus into consideration. Will it affect the market? Will it affect, money in the game? I suppose they'll have to take into consideration Newcastle have been bought over and are worth more than anybody in the world combined. Man City have a bit of an agent squad. Will they go and look for players? And of course Liverpool are looking at it, and what do they need? And the Timo Werner thing is massive in the news at the moment and will continue to be so until he decides to stay at Leipzig or signs for Liverpool or anybody else. So lads, this is how it's going to work. First of all, welcome Grizz, how are you?
I'm okay, pal. Thank you very much.
Good stuff. And Keith, how are you, my man?
Good.
Good stuff. So this is how it's going to work, lads, right? You both know the Liverpool squad. You know who's at Liverpool. You know who's currently there, who may leave, who's been rumoured to leave. You have players out on loan that will come back. Will they be sold? You know all this. So what I'm going to do is, in the next half an hour or so, whatever long it takes you to do, I'm going to give you a budget of £100 million. All right, I think that's a fair budget. Although people have said, well, we haven't really spent over the last 18 months, so and so. That's fair enough. But when you put that against the fact that this whole coronavirus will it affect revenue and stuff like that, I think £100 million is fair. Okay. Yeah. What between the both of you, what you're going to do is you're going to discuss it. You're going to go through the squad. You're going to see who you can. I don't know what way you want to work it. You might want to buy the people reinforced and then make way for them, or you might want to clear the squad, clear whatever you can out of the squad, and then bring your players in. It's completely up to yourselves what way you do it. You have £100 million budget. It has to be realistic though, lads. You can't just go, oh well, we can get this and this for £100 million. You have to factor in wages and stuff like that. I will guide you as I go and give you figures as we go. So if you want to, say for argument's sake, sign Timo Werner, you're probably looking around £50 million, and you're probably looking at, well, let's say 120 grand a week, just for argument's sake. So you're going to have to find that 120 grand, and the 50 million will come out of your budget, no matter how big or small that is. So you'll have to work that as it goes. All right. So lads, walk away. You can discuss it between yourselves. You have £100 million budget. I have a pen and paper in front of me. I think Keith has as well. Grizz definitely doesn't. But we'll. But I'm sure we'll act as Grizzo's secretaries as admins. We go along. Yeah, admins exactly. So lads, take it away. Myself and Dylan are looking at this tonight. Dylan is on the line. He is there, and we will be coming back and forth to Dylan with comments from YouTube and from Hotmic as we go. So walk away. It's all yours.
Right, Grizz, how do you want to tackle this? I say we'll go through the sales first and see what
I think FSG and Gav combined have played being over generous here, because I would have said 100 million definitely before COVID, and after COVID, I think we'd be lucky to spend more than 50, 60 million if you ask me personally. But okay.
I think that could be a bit more on the basis that we're going to be the league champs. I think we haven't spent much, but you don't have to spend much to spend well. And I think FSG have sort of learned that. When they've gone in and spent big, they've done well with Van Dijk and Alisson. They're not afraid to spend when they have to, but I think, you look at the squad now. I've just quickly gone through. I don't know if we'll have the same sort of players, but who are you thinking of getting rid of? Do you think there's much money to make from sales?
Well, this is it. Ideally, you would, and ideally we do. We've got a history of cracking sales. You know, our sales department is one of the best around. We've managed to sort of really hurt the likes of Bournemouth, etc., and Leicester City with the keeper. What was his name? Ward.
Danny Ward. Yeah.
So you know, I personally would tackle it in terms of what do we need as a squad, as a team, to improve on this season. So what have we seen that has been not as strong as we'd like it to be for, you know, current European champions, Premier League champions elect? And, you know, I think it's pretty obvious that a striker, attacker, let's just say an attacker, someone who can play along the three, right? A left back in terms of a reserve left back. Now, the interesting scenario is I don't know if you would agree, but I personally would bring a centre back in, but that would totally depend on if we can get rid of Degsy. So that's 3 positions that I think we 100% need investment in.
What about a goalkeeper? Because I think we do.
You think we do?
Yeah, I'd be moving on Cardias and Adrian personally.
I don't want this to be a yes boss, because I agree with you completely. So I don't want to agree with you on everything, but I totally agree with you on this one. Because as you know, I'm not a fan of Adrian at all.
Yeah.
I don't care if he was part of the first 8 games, all that bullshit about, you know, he was part of the winning 8 games. You know, he was, you know, as I've told you, guys, I've been watching every single game, and in every single game, he's got a fuck up in him, and he's got away with it. He's someone on my Twitter timeline absolutely summed it up brilliantly. I'm so sorry I can't find it now to give the shout out to the guy, but he said he's the Degsy Lovren of goalkeepers in terms of he's not as good as he thinks he is, and he makes the most awful errors when he does something that it's very reactionary, spontaneous. He doesn't need to. Yeah. So I don't know what your thoughts are on him, but those are my thoughts. Carragher, of course, you know, he's not going to wear our top again. So you're right. We do need a keeper.
Now, have you anyone in mind?
No.
I have. I think we should go down the route of a young keeper. You don't want to be bringing in an older keeper. The name I have, right, is Olga Khan Shakir.
Yep.
From Trabzonspor.
Trabzonspor.
Yeah.
He's
a young keeper. Yeah, we know. Football men know. He's a keeper we've been linked with in the press, you know what I mean? And you can't read too much into that. But he sort of would fit the profile in the sense that he's a young keeper. The reports on him are good. And you wouldn't... With Alisson this season, you wouldn't have thought Adrian would have got any game time. Next season, you know, we don't want to take that risk with, let's say, a Cardias. Cardias, I think, is a better keeper than Adrian, if I'm being totally honest, but his head is just gone. You know, just ability-wise, I would think Cardias probably would have been, it's flip of a coin, really, but I'd be getting rid of both of them. But I just think a younger keeper that you can mould, but not someone more experienced than Kelleher. Do you know what I mean? Someone that's playing top flight football somewhere, you know, and I don't know if he's a Turkish international or not yet, but that's the sort of keeper I'd be looking at. Now, I'm not sold totally on him because you're talking a lot of money you're talking 20 million plus.
I was going to say, that's a chunk of your budget.
On a reserve keeper.
Keeper. So that's the thing. I definitely think it should be a younger keeper that we can mould, and there's no better keeper in world football to learn off than Alisson, who's also, we have to remember, still fairly young. So this goalkeeper has to be young, has to be ambitious enough to know that he's going to learn off the best and step in when needed. You know, hopefully the injury that Alisson got is just a one-off. It was just an absolute, you know, rarity. Hopefully, you know, he hasn't picked up many injuries in his career so far. I definitely would go down that route. Look, is there any experienced keepers that stand out that could picture's frozen. Oh.
Aston Villa. You know, I'm not saying bring in Pepe Reina, but I'm saying the older keepers maybe they're not out there. Is there anyone you can think of?
Reina was the one I could have thought of, but he's gone to Villa since.
And you have to, I suppose, looking
I think that would be more
the
sentimental.
budget as well. Yeah, you're looking at the budget as well, as Gav pointed out. We don't want to be, people will jump out and they'll say, what's your Keylor Navas? They'll say, Areola, what's his name? Areola,
yeah.
The PSG gone to Real Madrid.
Well,
but
considering we can get some P for Adrian and okay, so let's look to sell Adrian and Mignolet.
How much are we getting for that, Gav?
Various. Look, let's be realistic.
I think if you're looking to get rid of Adrian, I think that's a free transfer. So you're only I think you're freeing up wages there, and I don't think that's an awful lot. With Karius, I'm going to give you 8 million for Karius.
Yeah, that's fair. I think
that's generous.
Yeah,
post-COVID. It honestly is.
Yeah,
but
I think you have to take into consideration that Michael Edwards will get 8 million for him.
Yeah,
and
5 to 8 million. Yeah,
I reckon you'd get 7 million for me, so I'd say you'd get 8 million for Karius. Easy.
Dylan O'Rourke reckons 5 to 10 million max on Karius. I'll give you the 8 million on Karius. Are you getting rid of Karius?
Yeah, I without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, I would. I'd look to bring someone else in. I think he's a good keeper, but I think his head is cabbage. I think if he ever pulls on their jersey, crowd will be on their blade. And
I think we're off to a bad start with the keeper recruitment, because I think even though he's a good keeper, Trabzonspor have got very filthy rich owners now.
True. Yeah,
and so
it's a lot of dough.
So trying to get him away from that club who have got aspirations of their own, to challenge the likes of Fenerbahce, Galatasaray, etc., in Turkey, that would be some effort, even for Michael Edwards. I think we may have to look, elsewhere. I haven't got a name. I'm sorry.
We could give them Karius as part exchange. He's little talky in no way, shape, or form. He's being brutal. Yeah,
I think as Gav says, it would have to be someone who in the same mold of wages as what's his name, Adrian. I can't think of a keeper that would.
You see, but you're looking at, we're getting rid of the two of them, so we've a combined wage on the two of them that we could get someone in on a decent enough wage, not high wage, but decent wage, and 8 million. So we'll park the keeper off maybe for now.
I think you're probably would we say around 70,000 a week between the two of them that you're doing on wages?
70,000 is probably fair. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be more actually.
No, it could be more with Adrian.
Yeah, I think between the two of them.
I wouldn't have thought so. I would have thought Karius was probably on about 40 grand a week, and I reckon Adrian's on less.
Yeah, fair. No, it's fair. It's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
So now you've cleared 8 million on Karius and Adrian, so you're down 2 keepers, but you've made up 70k in wages. So yeah, continue on.
Right, so Grizz, are we Klein and Lallana, are they both free transfers? They're both our contract, are they?
Absolutely, they're near enough. But
whopper wages.
But the advantage we've got this summer, when everything opens up and everything's fine, and it will be, we've got a lot of players to get rid of, and in my opinion, I don't think we need to replace like for like in terms of via transfers.
Yeah,
for example, absolutely Nico Williams goes into Nathaniel Klein's position role in the squad.
Okay.
See, I said this about Keanu Hoover last season, and he didn't do that. You know what I mean? So it's a risky one, but go ahead.
It is, but Keanu's a mercurial talent. He's still got to develop. He's very young. I get Nico Williams is young, but he's shown that he's solid. He's got a more pragmatic approach to defending than Keanu Hoover, who's looking to be your next Trent. So you've got to give him time to develop.
Yeah.
Between the two, I don't think we need to buy a right back.
Because I'm looking at a right back, I have to say. And I saw, not that I'm looking for a right back, right? I seen a shout on, it could have been the Anfield rap or someone said this, and at the start I was like, what? James Ward-Prowse, right? James Ward-Prowse at Southampton is obviously a central midfielder and can play on the right hand side, but he's been playing right back for them as well. And if you put a James Ward-Prowse in our squad, he could cover what Trent does. He's not going to be as good as Trent, but for delivery, his delivery is very
fantastic
good.
Shout. I've said it for years. James Ward-Prowse is the closest thing the English have got to Beckham in terms of technique and delivery of set pieces. But I'm not willing to give Southampton
a lot of dough for him.
A lot of dough for him now, especially when Trent is our number one right back. I think between Nico Williams and the fella Hoover, I think we're okay at right back.
So just to confirm, Karius and Adrian are out with 70k of wages. Klein and Lallana are out, and I think you're probably looking around 160 or 70 grand of wages a week. Would you say?
Yeah, I would have thought 200, but I'll go with 100.
I'll give you 170 on that, right? Dylan, if you're there, people on YouTube are they agreeing with this? Do they all want Karius out?
Everyone, there's mixed opinions on this. People are saying Karius is worth nothing. People are saying he's worth the price you're after giving him. And here on, what's the other? Someone has said here now, Karius is worth 18 million for Bournemouth.
I like that.
Dylan O'Rourke, I think, is trying to get him to Bournemouth for 18 million because Bournemouth, they seem to sign our players for a lot of money. Cheers, Dylan.
We say it in jest, but there's every chance.
It could be. So there you go. That's the latest word from Dylan. A lot of people have a mixed reaction on, I suppose the value of Karius, but nobody is disagreeing on the fact that he should go. I just like to put it on record that he should go, but I think the video he made while he was on holiday was excellent, and I'll always stand by that, regardless of whether it was only 2 weeks after the Champions League final. Right, so I have you up 240,000 in wages so far, and I have you plus 8 million. But you are now down Karius, Adrian, Klein, and Lallana as we go. Right, you've skipped forward to Lallana. I thought you might leave him till a little bit later, but
we just took him because I think he's in our contract, so we just whip him out straight away.
Okay.
Now,
and I think it's fairly obvious and straightforward that Curtis Jones takes the squad role of Lallana.
Okay, so you're looking at Klein and Lallana out, and Nico Williams and Curtis Jones coming in to supplement that, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Fine. All right.
Now
continue on.
Sticking at the back race, Degsy gone, Gonzo.
Yeah, if we can. If we can.
I'm expecting money for him as well. I'm expecting.
I think the asking price for him, I honestly think, has dipped to even possibly anything between 10 and 15 million pound. I honestly think that now.
What have you got right?
I would have had. I think last year that the move to Roma was in around 18 million, if I remember right. And then Roma wanted to have him on loan and then pay in installments. It all fell apart in a very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And when Liverpool realised we're not dragging this transfer out for 3 years, I'll give you 15.
I've got some. I'm just going to point some tier one info from last summer window. The highest bid. This is tier one info. The highest bid we got for Degsy was 11 million.
Okay, well I'll tell you what. I'll give you.
I can't remember the club.
He's going to be a league winner, so we'll take 18. Thanks very much.
No, I'll tell you what. I was giving you 15. I'll give you 12.
I think so. I think that's decent.
Liz, you don't know how this game works. You're talking down our blade and transfer kit.
I don't think.
This is post-COVID, man. We've got to be realistic. The prices have and will drop.
Okay,
it's a buyer's market.
I'd have Lovren on about 70 to 80,000 a week. So I now have you with Lovren gone. I now have you plus 20 million.
Lovren's definitely on about 100, Gav.
Okay, so
he's one of the highest weight. He's one of the higher ones.
Okay, so I have you plus 340,000 in weekly wage, and I have you plus 20 million on your budget. But you have, in fairness, you've supplemented Klein and Lallana with Jones and Nico Williams, which is fair.
Exactly.
So at the moment, you're up 20 million and 340k, but you've lost. You might have to do something on a goalkeeper because you've lost 2, and now you've lost a centre half.
Yeah, but now this is where I want a decision, a team decision.
Yeah.
Now we've made a lot of money, and this is very realistic money we've made, right? So we know Deggs is realistic. We know Adrian's going. We know Karius is going. And as Gav says, we've made how much? extra on a budget, Gav? Did you say?
You're 20
20
million
million.
pound up on a transfer
Right.
budget and 340,000 on a
Right.
weekly
This
wage.
is where we decide whether we go expensive on a centre back,
Yeah.
or do we spend like your kind of money on probably one of the best young keepers around in the other fella, I'm not going to pronounce his name, for about 20 to 25 million. And then you've got to go cheap centre back because we're not going to buy big in both positions.
And if I'm looking at a centre back, the reality I think is it's going to be, I can't see us buying, for example, an Upamecano because too expensive. And right, the fact that he's left-footed, forget about that he's a left-footed, left-sided centre-back, but I can't see us going for a Koulibaly or an Upamecano because it's too much, and I think we'll be looking at a fourth-choice centre-back to go behind Gomez and Matip. Have you anyone in mind?
Absolutely. I've got two in mind, and both have been scouted very heavily.
Is Ben White one of them?
Ben White is one of them, and I can very much see that deal happening.
Yeah.
And the other fella is a fella from PSG, and I can't remember his name, but he's not one of your
whatsoever. It is.
He's a young fella. He's one of those under 21s where it fits our profile to bring in a young up and coming centre back to be moulded alongside the likes of VVD, Gomez, Matip. You know, who hopefully, fingers crossed, will stay. Injury free, but I think Ben White fits a lot of what we're looking for. He's played in the lower leagues. We know the lower leagues is a proper physical league. He's an actual footballing centre half. He's not a physical type centre half, but the fact that he's played for Leeds in the lower divisions means that he can handle himself. He's on loan from Brighton, I believe. Unless someone corrects me.
He is on loan at Brighton, from Brighton to Leeds.
Yeah, so look, with Brighton going down, Leeds possibly coming up, that could complicate matters slightly. But I think Ben White, for me, is the most realistic centre back for us. I don't know what you're saying money wise. How much?
So we're not buying from Leeds, we're buying from Brighton, like so.
So and they're going to be relegated, right? Probably.
Brighton?
Are they in the?
No, I don't think Brighton will go down. But
you don't think Brighton go down?
No, I don't think Brighton will. Like, I don't know how much this fella Ben White is worth, so I'm gonna have to trust your honesty when it comes to this. I've seen
15 to 20.
Yeah, I've seen links.
I think so.
I've seen links there. So what I'll do is, I took a bit off you on Lovren. So I won't go 20. I'll go 17 on Ben White if you want Ben White. The PSG one. I have seen one article about him. I don't know the name myself.
Kusoi, So, Dagba.
I don't know the name of the player, but I have read it.
Which one?
That's the one. You just read 3 and you just
read out 3 of them.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Kevin Sullivan reckons Brighton will demand 40 million plus for Ben.
They can demand all they want, but as Grizz keeps pointing out, it's going to be a post-COVID, post-apocalypse type of bleeding scenario here. So we all know teams are full-locking players and are full-locking staff and looking for players to take pay cuts. So the lie of the land might be a bit different. And, you know, if Brighton were to do a deal with Liverpool at a decent enough price, you know, if they can do it like that, they're not getting ripped off. They could do it. You know what I mean? Liverpool could throw a player their way or could throw it a loan their way.
I think between 15 and 20 is very reasonable and very real.
Okay, so are we taking in Ben White and I'm gonna give him to you at 17?
Yes.
Okay, 17 mil. Okay, and sort of wages would you be looking at?
He's a young and up and coming player, 40, 50.
Okay, so I'll tell you what, I'll give you 50k on that.
Yeah.
Okay. So that currently leaves you with 3 million. You're up 3 million at the moment, and you are up 280k on the wages so far. Okay, and you've brought in Ben White from Brighton. Is that fair?
Yeah,
that is. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. That's no problem at all. Just a few things. Let me see. Maverick says Ben White 15 million plus add-ons or a loan of Nico Williams. Well, he can't really because the lads want Nico Williams in the squad.
I'm thinking a loan of Brewster or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sweeten that.
Danny Emery points out that Lovren will now be in the last year of his contract, so is that money a bit high? We leave it as is at the moment. Leave it as is. You might have a bit of wiggle room at the end, but as it stands, you've brought in Ben White, you've brought in Nico Williams and Curtis Jones into the squad full time now, I suppose.
Full time.
You've lost Klein and Lallana, you've lost Karius and Adrian, and at the moment your budget still sits at 103 million, and you're up 280k in wages as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go.
Takes us to left back.
Yeah. Have you anyone in mind for left back?
Yeah.
Because I don't.
I've got two fellas in mind. One would be pricey for a reserve, slightly pricey and slightly difficult to possibly bring in as a reserve. That's I don't know his first name, but Vinagre.
Ruben Vinagre. Yeah.
Now, if he's happy to be in and out of the Wolves first team like he is, then he'll be over the moon to be sort of reserved to Robertson, which is a very good indicator of his mindset. He's talked us up in the past, saying that, you know, we're a wonderful club and we've got the best forwards in the world. I think this guy's got potential to be a classy left back. The times I've seen him against us, even, he's impressed.
Yeah, he's always looked good there.
Yeah, look, what we know from Jurgen Klopp's time here is he likes his fullbacks to be very good on the ball in attacking areas, and this guy's strength is that. Trying to put a figure on it, Keith. I think I don't even know how much Wolves paid for him. Hopefully,
if you're looking 25 million, I'd say to get him minimum to get him. Well, to get him out there, I'd say because Wolves are number one, they're going to be in Europe again. Number two, they're the George Mendes effect there. You know, he's not doing any favours for anyone except George Mendes. So I think he's going to rinse as much as he can. Now, I like Vinagre. I think he's a good player, and I think if he could
that
get
was
him,
that was more of the wild card sort of try our luck. If it works, if it works, it works. You know, if Michael Edwards can sort of, you know, pull a rabbit out of the bag, then he's the one. Realistically, we're going to Norwich City.
Jamal Lewis.
And we're going for Jamal Lewis, who would be cheap as chips, up and coming, very quick, very comfortable on the ball, and would develop very nicely into, in my opinion, a very good fullback in the near future. I think we go anything 5 to 10 million, and we get him.
Okay.
Yeah.
You seem you didn't have left backs a minute ago. Now you've loads of them.
and I have two more now.
Well, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. There's loads of comments flying in on Hotmic and also on YouTube. Dylan, anybody outside Jamal Lewis and Ruben Vinagre?
Greg Taylor from Celtic.
Okay, that's Dylan O'Rourke's shout. Yeah, he's a big fan of Greg Taylor from Celtic. First year there, but a real standout player. What else? Thanks, Dylan. What else have we got? We have on YouTube, Chris Brack says, what about Saka from Arsenal? He's a good shout. 1 year left on a contract.
They'll get him signed. They'll get him signed up.
Fair enough. Are you both sure that you definitely want to do something on a left back though?
100%.
I think we need to.
Okay.
I think we need to. Yeah, I was thinking along the lines of Philip Max or somebody a bit more robust than Jamal Lewis. Jamal Lewis is purely a left back, and I was thinking, Adam Smith off Bournemouth is a fullback who can play both fullback positions, and you'd be covering the two sides with one player. Philip Max is a left midfielder and a left back, and Klopp always converts wingers to fullbacks. He done it at Dortmund as well.
I much prefer the Philip Max shout. I don't want a fullback in the mould of Milner who can play right and left.
Can I throw two edges? Can I throw two at you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, so Owen Burke wants Dwight McNeil from Burnley and convert him into a left back.
Yeah, that's a perfect situation.
I've said that before, but it's very unrealistic to expect.
It's the most expensive of the lot.
The star winger of Burnley to come and play as a reserve fullback. You know, he's got far more ambition than that.
Fair enough. The other one I throw at you, and I'm saying this probably about a year, is Ryan Bertrand at Southampton. It's a move to a bigger club. He'd probably get the same, if not more money, and he won't be expected to dog it out with Southampton.
Well, Gav, a bit of we were gonna do. I was gonna suggest to you we're gonna do a underrated Premiership 11 next week or sometime. But I'm saying, just add to that, I think Ryan Bertrand is probably one of the most underrated players in the Premier League. Okay. I think he's a fantastic fullback, not talked of enough.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a good player. You get him at a decent price as well.
Do you think Jamal Lewis is 5 to 10 million though?
See, they're going down.
Right. Yeah. 5 to 10 million easy, Gav. Why?
Okay. No, I'm just wondering because I think I'd rate him a little bit higher than that.
No. He's not even their first choice.
I'd be at the higher end of 5 to 10 million anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
I don't think you get anyone for that price these days, but 15 maybe. But like, I think we do need a body in there. So, and it's only literally someone to cover, because while Milner has done a good job, we lose so much of our game when Milner's going in there.
But you get my point. That's why I'm up against the Matt Smith shout.
Yeah.
Okay. Owen Burke. Owen Burke suggests Enda Stevens of Sheffield United.
Cracking player, but he's not going to come and sit on our bench.
Nah.
Fair enough. I don't know if you want to leave left back and head on and come back to it at the end.
Yeah.
Or you want to make a decision on it.
I think Jamal Lewis is a decent shout.
I'd go with Jamal Lewis. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'm gonna take the 10 million on Jamal Lewis, but I'm gonna put him in at around. I think you're probably looking around 40-50k.
I think maximum 40, Gav.
Okay.
Maximum.
I'll tell you what. I'll put it in as 40. Okay.
Yeah.
So that now leaves you at a 93 million pound transfer budget, and 240k. You're up. You're plus 240k on your transfers. Now you've added Ben White and Lewis. Jamal Lewis.
If we haven't solved the goalkeeping dilemma.
No, you haven't solved the goalkeeping.
We'll come back to that.
So you've lost Karius, Adrian, Klein, Lallana, Lovren, 5 players. You are putting Nico Williams, Curtis Jones into the squad, and you have Ben White and Jamal Lewis now in your squad. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Continue on.
Now we're up in midfield. There's not really.
We go outright.
There's not really any more of the first team maybe that you could see going, but we've a lot of loanies out there. Have we anyone, Gruitt just jumping out like a bleeding sore thumb to me, that we get a bit of wedge for?
Wilson and Gruitt, in my opinion, were destined to get us 50 million between the minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum. We're destined to get us 50 million minimum. And Shaqiri. Shall we add him into the midfield?
No, we leave him in the forwards.
All right. So Gruitt and Wilson would have got us 50 million easy. I think we struggled to get that for both of them now.
Yeah. I think both of them, even without COVID, both of them have sort of gone off the boil. Gruitt had a couple of manager changes over in Hertha Berlin this season. Klinsmann came in and then left after a couple of weeks, and I don't know who's gone in there now. So he's maybe suffering for that. He's not at the peak. I think Atletico were linked with him last summer, and they were talking big bucks, like 40 million, around the same what they'd done on Llorente.
He started off like a house on fire.
Yeah. And they loved him over there. Paul Dardo was a huge fan of his. Called him the best midfielder they ever had at the club.
He's ever played for Hertha Berlin, yeah. I mean, I don't know what kind of midfielders they've had in the past, but yeah, it's still something. The biggest loss will be, in my opinion, we actually had a pre-agreed deal with Bournemouth. If they stay up, we get 23 million for Harry Wilson.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they will stay up.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the terms. Exactly, I don't know what the terms and conditions of that deal, or that pre-agreed deal, will be now, in terms of, COVID. Yeah. But I still think we can get in the region of 15 to 18 for Harry.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of points on Harry there. He's British.
Would that deal not stay in place though?
I don't know.
If they stay up.
All I know that it was definitely a pre-agreed deal for 23 million if they stay up. I don't know how it works after that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, it might not have been. There's a couple of them you know, they have to do it or they can do it. Do you know what I mean? There's a difference in some of them deals. So whether it was a 23 million, if you stay up, you have to buy it.
It was a have to.
They have to.
That was the deal.
Yes, bringing it in then, Harry Wilson, because I can't believe people think he's good enough to play for us.
Not for us, but he can do a decent
good player.
job.
He can do a decent job, but he's nowhere near good enough for us. He's not. Sure, he doesn't get a game for Bournemouth. He's in and out of their team. He's not quick and fit enough, I don't think, to play for us in the positions that he plays.
I think they're definitely two that we will move on.
Yeah.
I also think we've forgotten slightly. He is the forgotten man, but he's come to sort of prominence in terms of the FA Cup run and etc. And the League Cup is Pedro Chirivella.
Yeah.
So I think 5 million to Las Palmas or something would do.
A nice little wedge on him as well.
I think we can increase our budget with a 5 million for Pedro as well.
Is Pedro out of contract?
No, I don't think so.
I think he might be. I think he might be. I have a feeling. I have a feeling Chirivella might be in the last. He may be. I think he's out of contract this summer.
Possibly.
And I think Liverpool. I think Liverpool wanted to renew, but I think he's looking to move on for regular football. And I don't think.
Okay, so no fee there. Okay, no fee there.
Yeah.
But I agree with the other two, Harry Wilson and Grujic. I think.
Yeah, I think. Look, shall we settle on? I don't know, 35 to 40 million coming in for both of them.
What do you think of
on
Grujic and Wilson?
Yeah, I'd look if Bournemouth stay up, you're getting 23. COVID-19 won't have anything to do with that. That's a contractual thing. You pay it, and that's the end of it. You suck it up. With Grujic, like somebody that says there on YouTube, I think it was Danny. He was saying with regards to Grujic that 20 games, 3 goals, 1 assist, and 1,600 minutes of play. I think he might be. I don't see him playing for Liverpool. That's just me. No. But I think
he's a good player, and I think he'll have a good career. And I think he could be very good in Italy or Germany. And I think we can get money for him. You know, I think he.
Yeah, Owen Book says Chirivella's deal is up, but there is a contract offer on the table, but I can't see that happening. With regards to Grujic, I think he's probably done enough in Germany for somebody to come and take him. Now, who's he with? Hertha, is it?
Hertha Berlin, yeah.
I don't know whether Hertha will be way too much affected to go in and probably give us. You're probably looking 15 to 20, but I think somebody would look and go, he's been really good for Hertha, he could be really good for us. So what I'll do is I'll give you the 40 between the two of them. Wages wise, you're probably only looking at 40 between the two of them, though.
No, Grujic would have been on.
No, I don't think so. He was signed very young, very young.
Yeah.
You know, I'll give you 50 between the two of them.
That's fine. I'll take the 40. I don't mind.
40 and 50, okay. So you're losing Grujic and Wilson.
The thing with Grujic and Hertha spent a bollocks there in January on players. They went on a huge spending spree. They brought in Piontek off AC Milan. They brought in a Brazilian guy playing in the sort of number 10 role. They spent big on a few players, so they've a few quid. So maybe if he gets in the team when they do come back, they might look to do something there. So we might get a bit out, but I'm happy with the what are we saying, 40 on 40, the film, is it?
Yeah, 40. So that would bring you to 133 million of a budget. You'd be up 290k on your weekly wage, but you will have lost Karius, Adrian, Klein, Lallana, Grujic, Wilson, and Lovren. You will be bringing in, of course, Nico Williams, Curtis Jones, Ben White, and Jamal Lewis so far.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm liking it so far.
Okay.
But is panicking about the goalkeeper still, I'd say.
I'm slightly panicking. Not panicking because, you know, I'm sure there will be targets out there that we're looking at because of the situation.
Yeah.
You know, I think probably realistically, maybe we're going back to it now, but I think we may have to stick with Adrian for another season, Keith.
You think? Well, look,
it just makes
be against it.
Yeah, it just makes it's the easy option.
Yeah. And
especially with
Klopp shows a lot of loyalty to players that have done what he sees to doing well, and the example being Lovren. everyone thinks he's a donkey and he's cost us this, that. Our Klopp has stood by him all the way and thinks he's a cracking squad addition there, you know. So maybe we'll look at keeping it again, but we'll come back. We'll see what our budget is.
I think me, you, and Gav probably 100%. All three of us agree that we would sell him personally. But looking at it from the realistic point aspect, I think he stays another season. What do you think, Gav?
On Adrian?
Yeah.
Possibly. The only thing is, even the form he's shown for Liverpool in the, what is it, 10, 12 games he's played for us, somebody may come along and go, listen, we want you to be our number one.
First choice,
You know, whether that's a Premier League or a Championship side and where he's on decent money.
Spanish side, maybe.
Yeah, Spanish side, where the back end of his career and he gets another couple of years of I suppose, regular football. Just going over to Dylan quickly. Dylan, everyone agreed, Grujic and Wilson. Anybody against that?
Yeah, everyone agreed on that one, Gav.
Yeah, no worries. The lads are doing well here. The lads are doing very, very well.
I'm liking how this is shaping up, to be honest.
The only thing I will say to you is, like, you know...
You can tell we don't play FIFA manager and all that bollocks.
Well, I would say to you is, you've made that point, but the next word out of my mouth was... there's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 9 player movements already, and I don't think even you're finished with midfield. I think you might be going a little bit over the top of the amount of outs, but it's completely up to yourselves.
I know, and Liverpool probably won't do that much business. But if I was shaping the squad, this is how I do it. And if you look at that, how many of those are going to be first team players? 0.
Well, Keith, I'm going to counter that point from Gav and say which one out of the suggestions we've made are unrealistic.
You could argue Adrian, like you've just said.
And I've rectified that by saying
that's fine.
He stays.
Yeah, you've sat in defence.
No, I've done my usual small ones.
Yeah, of course you have. You've covered all the bases.
Right.
I think you could argue Lovren. People mightn't argue Lovren, but you could.
Yeah, I think Klopp would argue Lovren.
I think the Wilson thing is tied in, but if Bournemouth go down and you don't get a sale from, you could argue he could loan him again. You know, I don't know. Grujic, I think we've been very realistic. Putting him out in Germany 2 years, I think, is a telling sign. If he'd have brought Grujic back and put him in the Premier League for a year, you know, now I know he done Cardiff, but I think if he'd have tried to bring him in and put him into a Newcastle or a Brighton or somebody along them lines, you'd see him in the environment that he's going to be in a lot more.
I somewhat disagree. I think 2 years at one club was a sign that we're liking how you're going here. Let's keep it. Instead of throwing him in somewhere else, let's see how you do. You know what I mean? And it's a tactic that's not too bad. You know, a lot of the Italian clubs used to do with 2-3 year loans.
Do you know the only thing? Do you know the thing with the Grujic situation, right? The only scenario I would see him back at Liverpool would be if Gini wasn't gonna stay on, which he is.
Okay.
So if Gini would have been reluctant to sign that new contract and moved on, then you could possibly make a slight case of Grujic coming back into the squad. Even that would make real sense because you're talking about losing a an absolute world-class central midfielder in Gini, and then replacing him with a still relatively unknown Grujic in the Premier League. So that's the only scenario I could see Grujic coming back. And even that's not happening. So
just a quick update. JJ says he wouldn't get rid of Adrian. Maverick feels that Adrian will only go if they have a ready-made replacement. Chris Brack is asking, was Adrian only on a 1 year deal? I presume if he is, we have an option on a second year. It's usually how it goes. Barry says that these boys would give Michael Edwards a run for his money. They really would. They're doing quite well out of this. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be a little bit more strict on them as we go on. If you're on Twitter,
nail.
if not on Twitter, if you're on YouTube, please hit the like button. If you're watching this right now, just please hit the like button. Subscribe, hit the bell icon, and every time we go live, you will see that. If you're on Hotmic, thanks for joining us. There's names joining all the time there. If you could follow us on Hotmic, that's brilliant. If you could hit the like button, that's brilliant. As again, all our shows are completely free. Some on Hotmic, some on YouTube, some on Periscope, and some for download. So look us up everywhere, follow us, and do all that messing. Right. Are you finished in midfield? Sorry, no. Keith, you wanted to say something before we went on.
Gini, just that we've touched on Gini there. We're all convinced that Gini is signing a new contract, yeah?
Correct.
Yes.
Because if it was to drag on, would you see them selling him?
No, I think they'd run his contract.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they did as well. I think he's too important to sell at a cut price fee. But are you looking to do any business in midfield, Grizz?
With Gav's budget, yes.
Yeah.
Because Gav's given us 50 million extra, and that's absolutely tempting me. I don't think realistically we're looking to do much business, especially as I said with Ginny staying, because that gives you and Milner staying another season. So if we're looking at our midfield options, Keith, we're looking at the same, aren't we?
Yeah, but
Plus,
I would be looking to bring in, and I'm going to throw the name out that I would be looking to bring in Hossam Ouar of Lyon.
Well, this is it. If Gav's giving us 100 million and we've sort of improved that by around 10.
No, you're currently
We're at
sitting,
133.
You're on 133 million with 290k still to play around with, on top of, obviously you're plus 290k. So,
okay, I think Hossam, I'm going to call him because I can't say his second name. I think personally he's my favourite young central midfielder in Europe.
Okay. Just before you go on, Dylan feels that Grealish might be worth a mention. Owen Borg says, would Bendia be considered a midfielder or a forward? Kev O'Sullivan says, our is pure talent, 60 million easy. Ruben Neves, his name is being thrown in there. I'm just giving you these names while you're going on, but there you go.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna mention Grealish after Hossam, but as Keith's already mentioned Hossam, if we've got that kind of money and we know going to the forwards, we may differ in our opinions, but I think we may agree. Hossam would be my personal number one choice. Now, the situation as usual when you're buying, for me, a ready-made world star, the situation, the question always arises is, Keith, how do you improve on Premier League champions, 98 points or 97 points, world champions, etc., etc.? Well, where does he come into your plans, team-wise?
What I'm looking there, Grizz, I'm looking at a young player. How old is he? He's only 20.
21, 20.
Something 20. Like that, right? So he's a young guy. I think you'd look at him, you'll give him games. I mean, we've a lot of injury-prone midfielders. Injury-prone, maybe, like we've Naby and we've Ox, that, they do miss games every season. We've got Milner's another year older. I think we'll see his numbers maybe tail off a bit next season.
For sure.
And I just think he could get enough games in an ideal world. I don't know what way the season's going to look next year for a start, but if we assume we're having a normal full season, I think there's enough games there, with the caveat that in a year he's integrated and he's into the team. I mean, we've Minamino there as well. That's sort of a Swiss Army knife that can play between the attack and midfield and the attack. But that's who I know. Havertz is getting linked a lot, and I would love Kai Havertz, but I think Kai Havertz are looking at 100 million, and I think you're looking at
Havertz is going to Bayern, so forget Havertz in my opinion. Look, I'm going to suggest to you, sorry, how rude of me to tell you, sorry. I'm going to suggest, and I'm going to put forward, we risk no one coming in for Hossam for another year, okay? Yeah. Because he is 60 million plus, 50 to 60 million plus, around that price bracket, right? Yeah. Because he's a top fucking notch star, right? And I'm saying we give, and here we go, Naby FC might be on my case here now, but we give Naby Keita a final season to show us what he can actually do. And if he doesn't, whether it's through injury, whether it's he still hasn't learned English, whether it's cold or whatever, we sod him off. Yeah. And we sod him off and we bring in straight Hossam, and that way Milner's dead by then. Yeah. And Naby is, if he's proved himself, then fair enough. But if he hasn't, then there's your straight player for player, like for like swap.
Yeah. See, I think the chances would be tough to leave him for another year.
That's a risk.
I think there's going to be flies on shite around him in this summer. I think Man City will be looking at him. I think the big Spanish teams will be looking at. I think there's going to be loads on him. But if you could, that's what I'm sort of on the same opinion. If we even got him, I would be looking at him for next season nearly. But with enough games this year to sort of get him in. But if you're happy enough with the midfield, then Grizz.
Well, we got to listen. Let's look through the numbers. We got Fabinho mainstay, Henderson mainstay.
Gini.
Then we've got the likes of Keita, Ox,
Gini.
Yeah. So that's 5 into 2, 5 into 3. Possibly 2, how we're looking to progress the formation we may come on to. We will come on to. And Milner as well. So we've got 6 into 3 for sure, and 6 possibly into 2 in terms of formation looking going forward. So I think we're covered in.
And you've Curtis Jones as well.
Okay. Yeah. And Barry says he doesn't want anyone to stand in Curtis Jones' way. He's not signing anyone that blocks his path. That's how highly he rates him. Consistency of fitness for Keita next year is crucial for his future, says Stephen O'Connor. Kel says every time Keita plays, he's very impactful. But it is the numbers don't lie. The numbers also don't lie at the amount of times he's not on the pitch as well, Kel. To be fair, Kev O'Sullivan on Hotmic says, remember, you've got to now factor in Newcastle going big in the market, starting with Pochettino. I think you get him now if you can. That's obviously in relation to our. Is it our? What way do you say his name?
Our.
Okay, Dylan, our on YouTube. Is it a yay or a nay on YouTube? Oh, Dylan's not there. I just wanted to see the feedback on that. But it looks to me like, but a lot of people seem to be very, very impressed by this Lyon player. So we'll have to wait and see.
And you see, with other players that'll be linked. Sorry for jumping in there, Gav. You'll be linked to it. You'll see Grealish being linked and Buendia being linked there. Buendia you'll get for buttons. Todd Cantwell would be an English player I would look at over the likes of Grealish, because I think we spoke about Grealish during the night. I think he's big bucks. Even if Villa go down, I think still looking at a top wedge to get him in. And I think our is a better option than any of them to go in there.
Oh, absolutely.
Technically, this fella is ridiculous.
Above.
Yeah.
He's a level above.
Maverick feels that our is a gamble.
No.
Again, well, look, everyone's a gamble. Yeah, everyone's a gamble. But I think, if you're looking at a player like him.
As Grizz's favourite artist once said, Roland Keaton once said, life is a roller coaster. So, you know yourself. Somebody threw in Ryan Fraser on a free as an option.
I wouldn't take him.
Just throwing it out there.
I know, but he's an absolute flash in the pan, that fella.
I wouldn't 100% rule that out. I have heard his name bandied about.
I would actually consider him for a left back cover, and that's about it.
Freebie.
Okay. So you're finished in midfield. Is that what you're saying? You're not going to really move there.
I don't think we're going to go for Hossam. No, I think it's too early in terms of where we are as a squad.
Okay. Yeah.
To sort of really go heavy in that area. Unless Naby, it's all about Naby for me. Mm-hmm. It's literally all about Naby Keita for me.
Naby has the potential to be the best midfielder we have, or he's going to be a bust, and it's the same. People don't like to hear that.
He's gone.
People don't like to hear it, but
I'm pretty certain it's his last chance saloon.
Chris Brack says that Dries Mertens is on a free in the summer as well. So there's one for you to chew on where we go. Where we go. Kev feels that our starts for us if he signs. That's how good he is. That's how. But Dylan O'Rourke through all this has had a note of caution through all this, because he reminds everybody that this is Lyon and we don't really get on with Lyon, if you remember right. The whole Fekir thing. But there is an element of truth to that. So
there's no one better than Michael Edwards at fixing.
Yeah.
Burnt bridges, so don't worry about that.
And I'll throw in something as well. Jean-Michel Aulas is going to be stepping down as the chairman at Lyon now, whether it's this summer or not.
Okay.
Because they're looking at the basketball player Tony Parker of the San Antonio Spurs fame, French basketball player, is the favourite to take over. as the
serious?
chairman. Yeah, so
Jesus
now whether that
Christ.
happens this summer or not, I don't know. But
There you go.
there's a little something,
Okay.
you know what I mean, to keep on the blade. And
Kev O'Sullivan said he'd sell Naby to get our. You can't trust him. Mertens to Chelsea is looking very likely. Mertens to Everton might look likely with the link with Ancelotti as well. In fairness, right, you're moving on to forward. So you have
This is it.
right. So you have Mane, Salah,
So what we
Firmino, Brewster, Origi, Shaqiri. I think.
Minamino.
Minamino as well. Yeah. Okay. Right. Walk away, lads. Just have about 10 minutes. Go.
Right.
What we got left, Keith?
We played loads here, Grizz. We've 143 million
See,
and we've 290k a week.
Well, this is it. The budget we've got is, I think, slightly unrealistic. I think in real life terms, I think by the time we reach this area of the field, I think our budget's probably, Keith, in the region of 50, 60 million without sales.
The way I look at that, Grizz, right, we're up to 133 now based on our sales. We started off at 100. If you think 100 is unrealistic and take 50 off that, it still leaves us on 83 million here. Now, I don't know about you. Straight away, I'm buying Timo Werner for 52 million or whatever that is.
I think you can deduct that from our budget.
Straight away, that's done.
Right, and that's without
selling
moving anyone.
Okay, so that's leaving you a 50 million quid. That's leaving you now with a budget of 83 million. And I'm going to say Timo Werner's probably in around the 140 mark, money-wise.
Sounds fair.
Would you say?
Yeah.
Okay, so that leaves you now on 83 million and you have 150k to play with on wages. That's really good because, to be honest with you, you know, team, the 150k probably is more than that because, you know, everyone seems to get more money. Yeah, I do have to factor in the fact that, as someone said earlier, when Aldum signs a new deal, his money goes up. So we'll play with that as we go.
We'll look at that. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Now up in the front line, Grizz, who are we lollipopping? I want Divock Origi and Xherdan Shaqiri Gonzo.
Shaq for sure.
Yeah.
I'm talking realistic now. I'm not talking about me and you.
Yeah.
Me and you, I think, and definitely I know from chatting with Gav before, I think all three of us would say, Divock, thanks for the amazing, absolutely outstanding, amazing, iconic memories. But as a footballer, going forward for Liverpool FC and where we're trying to maintain the level, you're not good enough in my eyes.
I don't think he kicked on this season from where he ended last season.
So just quickly to confirm, you're definitely going Shaqiri. So I'm going to put 15 million on Shaqiri. I'm not going any higher.
Shaqiri, 50 million gone.
15 million, okay. So that
as soon as the window opens.
And 100k a week. So you're probably you're now sitting at 98 million as your budget and 250k as your weekly wage. Plus Shaqiri is now left. I disagree on Origi though.
I'd have him gone.
Really?
I'll tell you why.
You've changed your mind. What's wrong with you?
I'll tell you why. Minamino, I think, will need time to settle. The front three are the front three, so don't worry about that. Werner comes in with a really, very, very high potential and could set the place alight. But you're looking at the front three, Werner and Minamino, and I'm not saying you're gambling on both of them, but you're hoping both of them kind of hit a ground running in order to make that front unit really, really good. Well. I was about to say that if you were to sell Origi and bring another one in, I think with the front three you have there and Minamino and Werner, although that's 5 and it's probably better quality than what we have now, I think with new players coming in, you probably need an extra body. Make it 6, and hopefully something. Look, they could all catch on.
This is what
but if they don't, you
towards.
have more numbers there. So.
Well, this is what we were building towards.
Okay.
Because, I was in my head. I don't know about Keith. You see, you've given us a budget now, and all right, we've got 83 million
98
to work with.
98.
Right?
If we sold Shaqiri, we're up to 98.
Yeah.
Right, you see, if we sold Shaqiri, look, Origi's a very tricky one. I get what Gav's trying to say as well. I get his point. In terms of, he's been at the club for a number of years now. He's happy to be there as sort of 4th, 5th choice. to me, it doesn't show much ambition though in a player, and sometimes it shows in his performances. Whereas he knows whatever happens, however he plays, he's going to be 4th, 5th choice again. I'm just looking ambitious.
Yeah.
And
I think you have to shake it up.
All right, and it's unrealistic. By no means am I saying that this is what's happening. Werner is realistic and is happening. But if we got that kind of money, Keith, and we're getting rid of Shaqiri and Origi, right? I think then there's no doubt in my mind, then we do the Sancho deal.
Ooh.
Because he was our first choice before Werner. The only reason we've gone off Sancho is because of finances.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. That's tier 1. The only reason we're not involved and want to be involved is because of finances. Now, if we can manipulate our finances so that we've got a spare 100 million now, 100 million plus, and the wages as well, in my opinion, there's no shadow of a doubt that we do. And in my opinion, there's absolutely no doubt that he comes to us if we make the effort. And I think
the problem with that, Grizz, is not that we don't have the shekels to do it. I think if you bring in Sancho and you're putting him on, what's the wage? What are we looking at? 250? United are offering 300. United are offering them. United are going to offer 300-400 a week to him.
We can't match that, of course not. We're not even going to think about that. I agree. But this is where I want the ambition of Sancho and the mindset of Sancho to be, I don't give a fuck about money and wages, like the likes of others have, right? And said, regardless of how much money we're being offered, we want to work under Klopp at LFC.
Yeah. Well, that's fair enough. So, Gav, give us the money on Origi there.
I think you're looking at 20 million tops on Origi, I'm being honest with you.
40.
I will struggle to get 20 now, my friend.
We should have sold them last summer.
I'll give you 20 million if you want them to go.
Yeah, no, I want them out, yeah.
Okay. And Grizz, are you in agreement with that?
Personally, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
I don't think we're going to get rid of him, but personally, I
would. Yeah, I agree with you there. And what are we looking at on wages then, Gav?
100.
Be on near about 100 grand, is
he? 80 to 100.
I'm gonna.
Has he only signed a new contract last summer?
Yeah, but I'm gonna say 80 grand. All right. So that leaves you at 330k and 118 million pounds.
That's exactly your figures for Jadon Sancho. Case.
Now, bear in mind, now we've also got to throw. If we're keeping Adrian, we have to throw his wages back in.
Yeah, but what I would say to you is that you're walking off. You've walked off a wage base of 0, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like you've made this money up.
This is profit.
Yes, you would always expect to, if you keep Adrian, you'll have to put his wages on. Clubs are always looking. Their wage budget usually always goes up.
Yeah. I'm not going to haggle over 30, 40.
So 118 million and 330k is Jadon Sancho money according to Grizz. Keith, in agreement?
I'm in agreement with that's the money, but I was thinking more along the lines of Ferran Torres. As a wide man, I wasn't going balls out. I was being more cautious and going for a much cheaper option.
Okay.
But Sancho, the only issue I have with Sancho, I have a few issues with Sancho actually, but the main issue I have is the putting someone in, and it's an issue I had when we were linked with Mbappe it was actually an issue I had when we were linked with the Lick last season, and that they were talking about 250 grand a week for the Lick. That as soon as you do that on a player, you have a queue forming at the office saying, look, this fella's done nothing here. He's 19, 20, and he's getting that money. Now, we haven't built a squad with those sort of characters, and I don't know if we're sort of messing around with team chemistry, because to be honest, like, I'm looking at what we're doing here, and I think we're keeping the chemistry tip-top with what we're getting rid of and what we're bringing in. And fantasy football stuff, I would take Jadon Sancho, and I think Liverpool do want him, and I think they will be willing to risk, because I see them linked, not strongly linked, but back sort of linked with Ousmane Dembele, and it's a very similar type of character and player.
Okay.
It's a very fast winger, but it's big money.
Okay.
You know, Barca hadn't given him away. So maybe the Sancho thing is a runner. And if he could get it done, I'd do it.
Well,
it does affect that front three because, you know...
Yep. Sancho and Werner will want a spot, and our front three are our front three, I suppose. Look, let's see what the people are saying on Hotmic anyway. You know, people are... There's a mixed reaction, I suppose, on Sancho. A lot of people do say, though, you know, get in and get him. Dylan wants a punt on Dembele as Barcelona are skint, and living off the wage subsidy for the COVID-19 at the moment. Barcelona are. Owen Book says, give Adrian a free breakfast in the Shiraz, and he'll be happy with that. The breakfast out of Shiraz is amazing. Dylan, are you there, my man?
Yep.
Okay. So, what's the thoughts? Are people into Sancho? Because this is a big idea from Grizz and Keith. Are people into the Sancho deal, or do they think it's not happening?
Yeah, everyone seems happy with Sancho, but a few comments have said here Sancho won't join unless Mane or Salah leave.
Yeah,
it's a fair point. Thanks, Dylan. It is a fair point. You know, and we've said that before, Grizz, haven't we? You know, one of the front three probably leaving in order for Sancho to come in. Werner's probably a different sort. There's a different angle on Werner.
Well, the thing with Sancho is what I said earlier as well, didn't I? I can't remember a couple of weeks ago. I said, look, the talk of Sancho is for this show, and I said, look, because you've given us that budget, and we've managed to raise by sort of being clever. Me and Keith have been clever with the sales and wages. We can bring in Sancho, right? But realistically, and this will tell us everything we need to know about Sancho as a character, as what kind of ambitions he holds. If he stays at Dortmund for another season, Gav, and avoids the lure of 300 grand from United and whatever, because he's being the world's being thrown at him, right, to sign.
Yeah.
If he stays at United for another season, I can 75% at Dortmund. I beg your pardon. If he stays at Dortmund for another season, it was 75% sure in my mind, that he's adamant that he's going to wait another season for us. Where it's very likely Salah leaves and Sancho comes in his place, and that will make everyone's mind up in terms of what kind of kid he is.
Fair enough.
I've got a feeling that he may succumb.
I think he definitely will succumb.
Do you know what I mean? He will succumb to the money. His agent won't, say no to a deal like that because they're desperate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? These clubs are desperate. We're not.
Okay.
Look. Our lack of desperation could work against us, if you know what I mean.
I think it will do, I think it will.
The lack of need,
well.
The lack of need. Owen Book says, chances are Salah will leave next season. Club will get full valuation for him. Sancho to replace him, be a world-class player for the next 10 years for us. But Kevin Sullivan says, let's be honest, United will make him the number one player. Huge club, big wages. Why wouldn't he? It's the right business decision. But lads,
Chelsea are off a transfer ban as well, and he's a Chelsea fan.
I understand that, but
I think you could be looking at him going to Chelsea. They're going to have Pedro and William. They're sort of going to need a
free, lads.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's a tempting one.
But listen, are we finalising this on Sancho? Are we both in agreement?
I'll leave it up to Grizz. I'll leave that to Grizz.
I think. So shall we give a realistic? Because you said be realistic, right? Shall we give a realistic aspect to it? I think Divock stays, and therefore Werner's the only one we bring in. Okay.
So are we taking Origi back off the list then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think he'll be sold.
Okay. Right. So this is what you've done, and well done. Well done. You have both done really well. The comments on Hotmic have been brilliant. The comments on YouTube have been brilliant. So finalised it, right? You're letting go of Karius, Adrian, Klein, Lallana, Lovren, Grujic, Wilson, Shaqiri. You're bringing in Ben White. Is that right, Ben White? Jamal Lewis, Timo Werner, and then you're bringing in Curtis Jones and Nico Williams full-time into the first team squad. Dylan O'Rourke just says there's big talk on Zakaria. Pedro is also on a free, says Kev, and he also follows that up with keeping Adrian. Oh, you're keeping Adrian, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
Adrian comes
We're
after
keeping
this
it
good
there.
spot by Kev. So sorry, it's Carrius, Klein, Lallana.
I don't like him, Gav.
I know you don't.
Yeah.
I know you don't.
Can we not be
Fucking
tempted to
hate
get
him.
rid of him, Chris? Can we not get rid of him? We've loads of money here.
Well,
hate him.
I think to be realistic, I think, you know, getting rid of Carrius is one thing. I always thought the club he was sent to in Turkey were under obligation to buy. It was basically a 2-year loan with an obligation to buy. I thought that, but obviously not. So yeah, it's Carrius, Klein, Lallana, Lovren, Grujic, Wilson, Shaqiri, and in come Ben White, Jamal Lewis, Timo Werner, Curtis Jones, and Nico Williams subsidised into the squad on a full-time basis. Lads, you've done really well.
That's all we're doing, bringing in 3.
That's all you're doing. Ben White, Jamal Lewis,
White and Jamal Lewis.
Timo Werner, and them 3. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you're doing.
Yeah, maximum another 2 unknown kids.
But in fairness to you, that brings you to basically you've done it and spent about £2 million, and you've took about
that's pure Michael Edwards and FSG
and you've took about
There you
300
go.
grand a week
Money
off
the wage bill.
of the wage bill, which is
now.
brilliant.
If that's not realistic, I don't know what is.
No, and
if
Shaq says,
Michael Edwards is listening or Peter Moore's listening, we can expect a call looking to recruit us to the team for tomorrow, Grizz, because that's outrageous what we're after doing.
yeah, I think it's really, really good. Shaq follows that up and says, yeah, that's brilliant from Grizz and Keith. So there you go. The people believe as well. Listen, that's the end of the show. It's a really good one. I really enjoyed listening to you talking about these players and trying to work it out as you went. Keith, thanks a million for joining me.
Pleasure as always.
Good stuff. Grizz, thanks a million. You're an absolute star.
Love you, Gav.
Good stuff. Thanks to Dylan, of course, who was manning the YouTube and manning the Hotmic tonight, giving us updates on what people were thinking. And look, today is Tuesday. Grizz, are we back on Thursday with me, you and Matt having a little chat?
Yeah, we're gonna
just have an hour.
A reunion on Thursday.
Yeah, with a few lemonades for yourself and a few beers for me.
Yeah, it's because Matt's on the show. It's gonna have to be far less football orientated.
We just talk about running naked across golf courses.
Yeah, exactly. On golf courses. Yeah,
that's my thought of the show. Keith, do you want to come on?
If you're stuck, give me a shout.
Go on, you can come on as well. Make it foursome. Right, that's it. That's the Fatback 4 Daily. Thanks a million for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the transfer window stuff. If you're on Hotmic, please sign up. Use LFCDT. You'll get shows there. YouTube, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. All that sort of messing. You'll get all our shows there. You will get some of our shows on Periscope, and of course you will get all our shows on download too. That's it. Talk to you in a bit. Over now.